How's it going, YouTube? I ran into my first problem with owning this 1998 Dodge Ram. If you notice, I have a little wet spot right here. And I opened the door the other day and saw it, and I was like, that's kind of weird. I thought maybe it had been raining. And my girlfriend actually mentioned that she thought the floorboard was soaked. I never just really paid attention. But I thought it was raining. Maybe it had a seal or something leak. So I went to go pull the floorboard up. And as you can tell, I have a huge puddle in my floorboard. So I've done a little bit of research, and apparently the AC, when it's running, there's like a little black box down here, and it fills up with condensation. And if you come over here, you have your AC accumulator. I could be wrong on some of these parts. You have your AC accumulator, which is kind of like this black cylinder, and there's a, let's see if I can't find it and get a better view of it. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a black little hose that comes out of the side of the firewall, and apparently those can get clogged up. They're pretty short, they're only like an inch long, but apparently those can get clogged up with like dirt and debris and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to get underneath the truck real quick and see if I can't take this little flathead and kind of just jam it around in there, see if anything comes out, because I cannot be having this floorboard soaked like this. So I went ahead and got the shop vac out. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up, then shove the flathead in here, see if we can't unclog that drain, and possibly go find a rubber hose to see if we can't stick it on there to not have this problem in the future. Okay, we're underneath the truck now, and that accumulator is right here. If my finger shows, that's the accumulator that I was just showing you guys. And see right below it, there's that little hose that comes out of the firewall, and it's about an inch long. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's like right here. But so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try to shove something down in it, see if there's any leaves or debris stuck in it. I'm not feeling anything. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything out of the ordinary. Alright, got the carpet pretty much dry again. I want to shampoo it again one day and get some of these stains back out. I don't know if you guys ever watched the video of me actually cleaning the interior, but now it makes a lot of sense why there were stains on this passenger side and not on the driver's side. I guess the guy had the same problem before. But the carpet's dry now, the extractor made quick work of it. I went ahead and shoved the flathead down in the hose, but nothing has come out, so I'm gonna try one more time, and then we'll go ahead and go buy some hose and see if that'll fix my problem. All right, so we're back in the shop again. I wanted to test something. As you can see, we have the vacuum back out, but last week, as you guys saw, I vacuumed out all the water and all down the side of the seat right here by the footwell, vacuumed all that out, and I was curious to see how long it would take to re-soak the floorboard, because I'd never seen the floorboard soaked before. So as you can see, those are the stains from last week from where it's still dry a little bit. So I gave it a week and was like, I wonder how bad this really is. I'd never noticed before it leaking, so I don't know if it took months and months and months for the footwell to get soaked. I just never noticed it, or if it was something that was happening pretty quick. Well, as you can see, it's only been about 5 or 6 days since the last time you guys saw me clean the floorboards, and it's already pretty soaked again. So it takes about a week for the floorboard to get soaked. So I went out, I did buy a rubber hose and 2 clamps. I'm probably gonna cut this down a little bit, which I'll show you guys before I put it on. But I'm gonna cut it down probably a little bit just to fit underneath the hood, which I showed you guys last week. And I'll show you guys again when I install it. But right underneath the accumulator has like a little nipple that comes out the firewall, so that's where I'll be putting that hose at. So now we have to re-extract the water out of the floorboard, and then we'll put the hose on, and then the next time you guys see me, it'll probably be a week later to see if the hose makes any sort of difference. That way, you guys will know if this is a fix for the Dodge Rams or not a fix for the Dodge Rams. Alright, we got the carpet extracted. Pretty dry now. Went ahead and cut the hose. Now we're gonna go ahead and open the clamps. Go ahead and get it clamped on to the little nipple coming out of the firewall. Alright, so it's been 5 or 6 days since that last clip you guys just seen. I haven't checked underneath the floorboard to see if it's been wet at all. I've been running the AC full blast for the last couple of days, driving it around, seeing if I can get it as wet as possible, see if it can make any difference with that hose that I installed that you guys saw. One difference I did notice the same day I put that hose on, about 30 minutes later I drove off, and then I drove for about 45 minutes, parked the truck, went grocery shopping, and I came back outside, and I've never seen this before with this truck. But as you can see right there, I have it here as well, a puddle of water, of condensation underneath the truck. I've never seen that. I saw it in the parking lot the first day I installed that rubber hose. So I knew right then and there that I had to have been doing something. But I used to never get these little puddles of condensation. Don't mind all this, it just got done raining. But I'd never seen the puddle underneath the truck before until I installed the rubber hose. But let me go ahead and pop the hood and we'll check the floorboard together. The truck is a little muddy because I live down a dirt road, and like I said, it's been raining. But we'll get the hood popped. But first, let's go double check the floorboard. It's a little dark in here, but well, the mat looks dry, so that's a good sign. I'll toss this in the back for right now. Do the old pat test. It's not soaked, but it does feel a little damp. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but it's definitely better than what it was. I don't have that river anymore that I used to have, but it's definitely still a little bit damp. I don't know if that's left from what I had that I just haven't got out yet, or if that's just, maybe it just cut off like 85% of the water coming into the cab. But it's definitely not 100% dry, but definitely, you guys saw in the last clips, I used to pat this down and this water would just come up, so definitely doing something. Now let's check underneath the cab to see how it's doing. Alright, the hose is still hanging in there. It's kind of cockeyed a little bit. I probably need to straighten that up, but it's still hanging in there. It's a little dirty from the mud. Like I said, it's been about 5 or 6 days since the last clip, and like I said, it's been raining for the past week, so it's getting pretty dirty and muddy on my road, but it's still on there. And like I said, it's leaving a puddle. I think I only spent about $10 with the rubber hose and the clips. So if you guys are having this problem with the second generation Dodge Ram with the wet floorboard on the passenger side, I would definitely stick something in there, make sure it's not clogged up, and then just go ahead and spend the $10 and see if it fixes it. I haven't drove this truck here in about an hour, and it's still dripping water, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I would say just give it a shot, see if it works. I would say, just judging by my test of it being on there for a week now, that my floorboard's still pretty dry and only is like a little bit damp, so it's definitely helping out. So yeah, with how cheap the parts are, I would just go ahead and try to give it a shot. If your second generation Dodge Ram has a wet floorboard in the passenger seat, give it a shot. Hopefully it helps out, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys watching.